Serge Nubret, a bodybuilding maverick, was known for his unique and revolutionary training methods. His program was based on achieving the maximum possible pump, which he believed was the most important factor in achieving muscle growth and maximizing leanness. He prioritized short rest periods and high volume to maximize the pump. In any given workout, Nubret would perform at least 16 sets for most muscle groups and occasionally up to 40 sets. He would perform 6-10 sets on most movements, resting only 30 seconds between sets for most muscles and a minute for quads. He trained his muscle groups 2 times a week and had only 1 day of rest. He also focused a lot on ab training, doing it almost on a daily basis. His training routine included exercises like squats, leg press, leg extension, bench press, flat bench flies, inclined bench press, chin-ups, lat pull-downs, bent-over rows, lying leg curls, and standing leg curls. His philosophy was to listen to his body's signals and adjust his training intensity, volume, frequency, and diet accordingly. Nubret was more than a statuesque physique. He was also a rebel, a trailblazer, and an enigma, unconventional in every way possible. He rebelled against the Weider Empire that controlled every aspect of the sport, and because of that, he would never be crowned Mr. Olympia. He refused to sign a contract with the Weiders. He refused to move to America. During a time when his physique would have provided serious competition to Arnold, Frank Zane, and anyone else in the world, he headed the NABBA, where he and Oliver would trade victories into the 1980s in relative obscurity, away from the limelight of the Weiders if Olympia. Nubret also defied scientific research, broke all established training conventions, never read a training book, ignored what his competitors were doing, scoffed at what's written about him in muscle magazines, and created his own revolutionary training system and diet. While he lifted alone as a rule, he also trained hundreds of bodybuilders in gyms in France who swore by his techniques. He also took to the internet in his late 60s, posting videos on a short-lived YouTube channel and frequenting the bodybuilding.com forum in a legendary thread titled "Serge Nubret is up in here," and converted scores of young trainees to his way of training. One of the interesting aspects of Nubret's philosophy is that he never kept track of his macros or followed a complex diet. In some articles and interviews, he shared that he's been always eating what he thought his body needed. In 2006, he shared on bodybuilding.com forum that he relied heavily on the subconscious part of the mind when it came to bodybuilding. The thread is incredibly huge with 399 pages and is definitely a must-read. It is important to point out, though, that experience plays a big role here. With time, it is very easy to understand what to eat and when to eat it, something that can be very challenging or even impossible for anyone new. Even when it came to competing, his diet didn't change much. What he used to do is just train harder. We are talking about training for 4+ hours, 6 days a week. But that begs the question, isn't this going to lead to overtraining? I talk about overtraining a lot. However, just because somebody trains 6 days a week doesn't mean they will reach that state. Of course, they need to know what they are doing. Everything matters, and they need to be able to listen to their body's signals. That's why Serge talks about the subconscious part and its importance. Everything matters here: the intensity, the volume, the frequency, the types of exercises too, what you eat and how much you rest. In a study from 2018, researchers found out that training a muscle 5 days a week is actually giving better gains in terms of muscle mass than training it 2 days a week.